everybody, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas holiday. I hope that you spent time with family, with friends. It is my prayer that you just enjoyed it to its fullest. I'm just gonna say that Christmas flew by, and in South Texas it was warm. I think it was like 70, 75 degrees. So it was anything but a nice, crisp, cool Christmas, and so that does play a part in how the day feels, and I just have to say that this probably was the first in a while that really didn't feel like Christmas, but that's okay. Still grateful for the holiday. Alright y'all, if you have not seen by the title of this video, I am bringing you today a first impressions on the new Pat McGrath Star Wars palettes. These are the smaller palettes. It's the Death Trooper and the C-3PO palette. I opted to pass on Decadence, and that's because if you have watched my Divine Rose impression of the palette that I picked up, you know I wasn't crazy about it in the least. And I kind of knew that from the moment, even before I had purchased it. From the moment I saw the photo, I really knew that it wasn't speaking to me, but I got swept up in all the hype, picked it up, and that was a major regret of mine. So Decadence has never called my name. I really was intrigued because of the packaging. My husband and I are huge Star Wars fans, but I figured for that price tag, I really don't want to get it just for the packaging. I was so proud of myself for passing on that one because I did get the email and I did see that it was still in stock. I was still, like, I must have caught it soon after, and I was still able to add to bag and all that, and I thought, you know what, I just don't need it. After a while it sold out and I was okay with that. That being said though, these were two I did know that I wanted to pick up. The color stories spoke to me, but in addition to that, the packaging I knew was everything. So I knew these, I had to stock to get these, but I did pick them up. They came, it took a little while to come in. We're going to do a first impression here in a bit, but I do first want to go through, give you swatches and that kind of thing so that you can see, you know, what this looks like. And if you do have FOMO, if you regret missing out on these, then you'll know if you want to hunt them down in some way, shape, or form. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and start with C-3PO. This one really is my favorite of the two, as far as just like color scheme and how it speaks to me in color story. So this is what it looks like. It's got C-3PO, obviously. And then what I love about these, because you know how most of the time, not most of the time, all of the time, her little cardboard palettes have the little elastic string that you hook onto the little cardboard circle. These do not have that. It literally is a magnetic closure, and it to me adds a lot to these palettes because I'm really not a huge fan of the other method of packaging. I don't mind the cardboard, but I am so happy that the little elastic thingies are gone. So they do open up like that. Let me go ahead and give you up close and personal of these palettes. Again, if you are a fan of either Pat McGrath Star Wars, you've already seen this. You've already seen the up close and personal, but just giving it to you anyway. So open it up and you've got the mirror, and then you do have the normal little plastic sleeve in here. Now, I'm going to tell you, mine came rattling in the box, and I was like, oh my gosh, one of them's broken. I just know it. So I had that ever feeling of dread as I was opening the box, and I was so pleased to find that it was intact. And I'm like, gosh, I wonder what was rattling around. Must have been this thing. Come to find out, you guys, so when I flipped over the palette to be able to take this out, let me just show you. I realized what was rattling in there, and it was the eyeshadow set. Literally, it like is not even glued into the, like, it's tacky here where it was supposed to be glued, but literally I've got two parts. So I'm just going to say, like, to pay $65 for an eyeshadow palette, and literally look where it came unglued, you see the pieces of cardboard. To me, that's a little, it cheapens it, and granted, yes, I know I can glue it back in. I would rather that than my pans of shadow have been broken. However, it is very frustrating because I shouldn't have to go out and buy glue for a palette I just paid $65 for 6 shades. So That being said, that was the only hiccup. Now, I did have a 10% off coupon. Lately with her launches, she's been emailing a 10% off discount. So, and then the bundle when you bought both of them. So technically, I guess, let me correct myself, I did not pay $65 per palette because they were doing the bundle for $115 and then I got an additional 10% off that. So I would say maybe it was even probably like $55, which, you know, still, you don't want it to come unglued. So let's go ahead and first dive into this one. Let me take you into swatches. Again, this is the color story that most spoke to me. You'll see how we do this eye look here together. But I do want to real quickly give you the swatches. Now the C3PO palette does not have any kind of mattes. They are all what I consider to be standout shades. And here's what they look like. Do you see how reflective they are? It's Galactic Gold, Bronze, and Violet Void. Now, I am not going to use this video to do a comparison on what all shades you can find in prior palettes. I will tell you a few of these are, to me, very standout, very unique, and there are a few that you can find very close similarities in her other palettes. So I always find that bronze is some sort of variation of a copper, of a bronzy shade. While may not be identical, just know that there are certain shades that will have similarities based on other palettes. I mean, I think that's just always, to me, that's always a thing when it comes to Pat McGrath. So I've got liner on the back of my hand from when I was doing the first impression, but that's what those three look like. Now, I mean, no sacrifice there on quality. The pigmentation is incredible. This one, I hope it's coming across as beautiful as it is. It is probably my favorite shade out of both palettes. It is absolutely stunning, and it's what I'm wearing on the middle portion of my eyes. So let's move on to the next three, shall we? Right, so here we go with Corruption, Electron, and Gold Standard. Again, with the gold shade. You will always have variations of gold when it comes to Pat McGrath. I'm not going to use this video. This literally is a first impression on these because I am a Star Wars geek and a makeup lover, but I am not going to do comparisons. Gold, you guys know, is something you can find a variation of in multiple Pat McGrath palettes, to include her longer ones and her smaller cardboard ones. I say you find them more in these because her standout type shades are not within these palettes. Those are a separate thing in themselves. But this is a very, very bright gold, and I do find it to be a little bit more different than what I have in her other palettes. But again, some sort of variation there. This middle shade is a like purple duochrome, and if you turn it, it looks a little more brown. If you turn it one way, it looks a little more purple. It's absolutely stunning, and I did not know how it would come across, so I really was packing it on the lid, and it was every bit as stunning as I had hoped, quite frankly, which I really, again, had low expectations for that one. And part of it is because just I was so disappointed with the last one, with the Divine Rose. So let's go ahead and move on to the Stormtrooper palette, or the Death Trooper palette, I think is what they're being called. We have seen the movie, and I don't remember if they call them out by a name, but again, I do know they are named differently than Stormtroopers because they've got the red outfit, or suit, armor, whatever. So this palette does have one matte shade. I would have rather just another standout shade because to me, one matte does nothing for me. I know maybe they put it in for those of you who love mattes and want to see a matte in there. But for me, I would have rather, you know, another standout shade just because I'm really not going to do much with that one. Here we go with Cosmics, Venomous Void, and, ooh, Saturnalia. Okay, if I'm really butchering that name, I am sorry, but this shade is also absolutely beautiful. It's like a duochrome. It looks very pink in the pan. However, it has a very heavy shift of gold. It's what I have in my inner corner. And again, I was absolutely floored. It does lean more pink, but it does have that shift of gold. This red is so saturated in color. Now, if you remember last year, she came out with 3 of these cardboard palettes around holiday time of the 6-pan, and I think it's the one with the red outer packaging, has a red in there. I find this one to be more saturated than that one, and this is a first impression, so I have not really compared, but based on the last time I used that that shade, This one is a little bit brighter and a lot more saturated. The other one's more beautiful as well, but it's a little bit deeper, a little more darkened. So those are the first three. Let's move on to the next. Last three, we have our Smoked Amethyst, Odyssey, and Bronze Nebula. Again, with the bronze, that's a type of shade that you're going to find different variations of in her palette. So this, to me, wouldn't be something so super unique. In addition, I do find that these deep purples, this matte type of shade, but it's got like a red sparkle in there. I feel like she does those deep amethyst shades, or has done them in the past as well. So to me, that's not also something super unique. But this is the three in there. This middle one is like a taupey color that I think is very pretty, that I will be using on my lid. But that's what those look like right there. For me, the standouts of this palette are that first duochrome and then that really saturated red. Those are the two that I love. And again, overall, the color story of the C3PO palette is what speaks the most to me, but they are both very lovely. All right, y'all, so it is that time. It's time to do the first impression. Ooh, there's a lint passing by my face. So let's go ahead and put this on my eyes. Let's go through it together. Some of y'all love my expressions and my excitement as I'm trying something for the first time. Oh, today's no exception. You're gonna have a lot of fun watching that. So let's get on with that, and then we'll be right back to wrap this up. Okay guys, so setup is a little bit different because I just find it easier to do my makeup at my desk and not a table facing the other way. So yeah, we're going to change it up today. So we're going to put to use the new Pat McGrath Star Wars palettes. So when I first got my box, it was kind of rattling around and I thought sure it was going to be broken. I looked, it wasn't, and I thought, okay, it's just the little plastic slip that was rattling around. No, I figured out what happened. So my C3PO, you've got the shades right here. I'll flip it over for you. Hold on. The eyeshadows are completely unglued from the box. So honestly, paying $65 for that, I get it. For those of you who are not into packaging or don't care and you just care about what's inside, but when you pay $65 luxury prices, you're paying for the whole package, so that's a little annoying. All right, well, there are no mattes in either of these palettes, so these are standout shades, and so I am going to have to supplement, obviously. I use one of the ColourPop Butterfly palettes. This one's called A Flutter. It's from the Ulta lineup, and I have really been enjoying these. So let's go ahead and I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do there so that I know what to do in my crease. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with the shade Meteorite. So it's like a corally type of shade, because I don't want it all to blend in. So let's see how this goes. This is literally going to be a first impressions on these palettes. I have not swatched, touched, played with, nothing. And I typically don't do first impressions, but given that I wasn't really a fan of the last one, and that I don't know that I really don't think she's bringing these back, but I don't know. That's what everybody said about Decadence, and then look what happened. It came back with this collection. So I did not pick up Decadence. I didn't think, after the whole Divine Rose one, and I knew my gut instinct was telling me that that color story wasn't speaking to me, but I ended up doing it anyways. And Decadence hasn't spoken to me since it was in its original packaging, so yeah. Okay, so that one is done. Now I'm going to go into the shade Swallowtail, and it is the deepest one out of this palette. It's like a purple. These ColourPop palettes, this butterfly trio from Ulta, truly have been enjoying very, very much. Which eye is better for you to look at? Let's do this one. And it's, again, for the price points, you know, when you see something like I just showed you about the packaging, and then you get something like this, that it's just, the packaging super cute, the product inside, and then the price point, we all know what the price point is. So yeah, it does make you wonder. Ooh, I did that one a little patchy. Okay, given that I lost a little bit of that initial shade, I'm just gonna go back in with the shade Meteorite. That was the first one we used, and back in with my little blending brush and just kind of like peek that out over the top. Just a little. There is, I'm sorry, there is one matte shade. It's in the Death Trooper, I think is what they're called, the red ones, palette. The C3PO does not have any matte shades. And honestly, I really want to use shades from the C3PO palettes. So that is probably what we're going to end up doing. I kind of wish I'd used that matte so that I could tell you what that was like. But anyways, okay, so I'll grab a couple of brushes. What I really want to do is use this duochrome shade right here, like mainly on the outer and inner portion of the lid, and then I want to use this gold that almost has like a green shift in the middle. We'll see how that works. But let's see. I'm going to use my MAC, what is this, 217? 230 maybe? It's so old that the little numbers have like rubbed off. That is very pretty, by the way. Wow. That one's really nice. It is super duochrome, you guys. Like, if I turn one way, it almost looks like a kind of brown shade, and then when I turn the other way, I see the lilac or the purple. It's very, very pretty. It's what I would have expected, so at least there is that. Now granted, I am pressing pretty firmly to pick this product up on my brush. So I'm going in with a lot to start. Like, I am layering, but I'm going in with quite a bit each time. Which doesn't bother me, but just so that you know, like, I hope you can see how much I'm picking up right there. Alright, y'all, so this shade is absolutely lovely. I love it. It's very, very pretty. So now that we've done that, I'm trying to think what brush I want to use, because I want to put a little bit of the deepest purple, which is this shade right here. I want to put that in the very outer portion of the lid just to kind of deepen it up. I'm just going to use this like denser type of brush. I don't even know that this is like the right type of brush for this, but we'll see. You know how when you get kind of like out of doing a whole lot of makeup, like you do kind of basic, but for the most part you're just doing like, oh wow, sorry, that was very intense. But you know, you kind of just get super simple and you go a while without. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I have been doing like more simple than I could ever tell you for longer than I've ever done. I have never gone this long with, for the most part, most days of the week, doing like just a liner or even just one shade in the crease or transition and just moving on with my life. Add some mascara. I've been wearing my glasses most days. I don't know what is up, but I do know that like I have a lot going on right now as far as just, you know, on a new job, and I'm trying to learn everything I can, and just I'm not placing a lot of priority in other things. I just want that to be my priority, so that's, I'm assuming, why. This shade is so pigmented. I wish I'd have gone in with a little bit less. Ugh. So it's looking a little harsh right now. So I'm going to have to, let's see if this brush will work. I've never really used this kind of brush for this, but I kind of need one that's really tiny. I usually use this for like my inner corner or something, but I need one that's a little bit tinier so that I don't disperse this dark shade all over the place. I'm going to tell you though that these shades, the two that I've used so far, are absolutely stunning. Very, very beautiful. So I'm trying not to get... Typically I'd go in with a makeup wipe and clean that up, but I already have foundation on, so we're not doing that today. This is giving me makeup excitement vibes right now. So now in the middle, I'm going to go in with this gold shade right here. Again, I would incorporate both palettes, but really there's nothing... I mean, let's see what this looks like in the Ooh, this one's very pretty. I hope you can see this. This is like a pink, but do you see the shift that it has? Let's see, hold on. Gosh, I still want to go in with the gold one. Okay, well, we're going to do that because of what I had my heart set on. But that pink one, I did not think I would like as much as I did. Okay, so I'm just going to take this on my finger, honestly. So it's looking like a very regular gold in the pan. It's like a champagne gold, and I think that's what draws me to it. And it is so stunning. Wow. Wowzers. It does have like a little bit of a green shift. This is absolutely beautiful. Wow. Okay. I love the feeling of being super excited with makeup. Yeah. This is one of those times. Okay, C3PO. You're typically annoying in the movies, but I see you in this palette. I mean, I could love you. This is so incredible. I'm floored right now, really. Okay, so that really is, what do we want to do on the lower lash line? Maybe we could do, So there's two that we could go into the lower lash line. There's a super dark purple that I kind of don't want to use because I'm liking I'm loving this look, you guys. Okay. So we've got like a taupey color. We've got a red color. I don't feel like the red would go, and I don't think this would go on the lower lash line. I think that's more of a lid shade. But I will tell you that even though I haven't used this Stormtrooper one, the finish is just like the ones in the C3PO. Stunning. So, and the only thing is there's that one matte, which I wish, what can you do with one matte, honestly? I wish they would have just done all standout shades. So I am thinking that I may end up just using this darker shade, which I kind of don't want to, but I may do anyways. And I'm just going in with that same, or a different little dense brush, but kind of the same type. And just, I guess, do this. I don't know. See, it looks a little dark, and I kind of didn't want to deepen it up that much, but it's still beautiful. And this shade is beautiful. It's amazing. All right, y'all, so I am going to run off camera, and I won't run. I'll sit here. Jump off camera and put on some liner. But I do want to let you know what I'm using for liner because it's a new one that I am absolutely floored by. And it's by Maybelline. It's the Hyper Easy Brush Tip Liner. It looks like this. It's very, very skinny. And this is what the tip looks like. And wowzers. This thing is so rich, so intense. You hardly need to touch it to your lid and so much pigment or ink comes out. And I would highly, highly compare this to like the Fly Liner by Fenty. And it's obviously a fraction of the cost. It was like $7.96 at Walmart. So I wanted to tell you what I was using because I have been amazed by it. Okay, guys, so we are on the final stretch of this. Let's try, I just need to pop something in the inner corner, and I'm not sure what I want that to be. I might do this pink one off of the Death Star palette. Death Star. Stormtrooper. Death Trooper? Anyways, the red trooper. Anyways, so that same brush that I used to kind of blend out the outer, like I've kind of taken off the deep shade that was on there. And I'm going to go in with this little pink shade and let's see how this does. It's beautiful. It's like a thinner consistency, which I don't know. Oh, wowzers. What? Okay, these are so amazing. These palettes are everything. Like, these are palettes that I'm sorry, I'm not trying to encourage y'all, but like if I had missed out on them, I probably would hunt them down, like keep a close watch on them on like an eBay or Poshmark as long as you can find a legit one and as long as it's not a super gouged price. These are palettes that you would say, I don't have a lot of this in my collection, and this is more on the unique side, both in packaging and in product on the inside. Okay, guys, so this is it. I absolutely love, love, love. Okay, let's get back to the next segment of the video. Okay, y'all. So, you may be wondering why I didn't do a full-on dazzled or disappointed instead of a first impression. I don't do first impressions too much just because you typically want to see, and I know this because I'm the same way, want to see, have you tested and tried this palette, played with it, used all the different shades? Like, is it something that you love or is it something you hated, and why? Well, that's typically what I do, given the fact that these are no longer available, and I really doubt she's bringing them back. I could be wrong. A lot of times I am. So given that let's just assume she's not bringing them back, I figured I just want to do a first impressions for you because one, let's vary it up. I haven't done it in a while. But two, let's just throw something on my eye. Let's see if it excites me, because that's what really I did with Divine Rose. In addition to that, if you're feeling that, remorse for not getting these or not being able to get them, let's just see first impression wise if you want to go ahead and go hunt them down in some way by paying a little extra. That's always, I hate having to recommend that. But that being said, first impression wise, I am absolutely floored by these palettes, and I'm so happy because really the Divine Rose was such a disappointment that I just was almost feeling very turned off just to the brand. And honestly, the last few launches I very much liked, loved. I love Bronze Seduction. I love Midnight Sun. The two quads that she released for holiday, 2 of the 3 quads, oh my goodness, those are so amazing. So I've really been on a roll with the brand. And then Divine Rose came along and I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. So especially when you pay that much money. And so that being said, I'm huge on this series. Pongo, stay down, bud, stay down. My dog's trying to jump on my lap. So I'm huge on this series. I was already sucked in by the packaging. The color stories were calling to me, like I said, especially this one. And so it's one of those things where if I was going to be disappointed, then it was going to be super disappointment because I had high hopes. For Divine Rose, I didn't have high hopes. And this met every one of my expectations, you guys. I just can't even get over the uniqueness of some of these shades, like something I don't even have in my collection, and that's hard to do these days. So this to me is what sets Pat McGrath out when she comes out with something that I really like. Again, not all the time, but that's the nice thing about makeup. Not everything is for everybody, and so Divine Rose wasn't for me. These certainly are. You may not even be a Star Wars fan. You may be like, that really isn't for me. And that's okay too, because there's something else out there that, definitely suits you. But these, you guys, were every bit worth the price tag that I paid for them. I am, again, disappointed at this packaging and the fact that it is unglued. I can hear it rattling around in there and it just kind of irks me. Aside from that, absolutely floored. These are so amazing. They suit my skin tone beautifully, and quite frankly, I can see these suiting most skin tones. If you have a deep, rich skin tone, I can't even imagine how beautiful that gold that I put in the middle of the lid, I can't even imagine how that would just pop on you, and I just know it would look so stunning. So that being said, I love them, you guys. These to me are what makeup dreams are made of. Just a theme that I love and a product that I love. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it beneficial. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope that if you did enjoy this video, if you did enjoy a difference from dazzled or disappointed in the first impression area, that you would give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing. I really would love to be able to have you during 2020 as part of this YouTube family. It would mean the world to me. All right, guys, before I let you go, I just want to impart a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of love in an effort to just share with you that I not only love you, but Jesus loves you too. And it's not in an effort to force anything down your throat. I love encouraging people, and just if you're feeling in a place of despair, loneliness, I know with the new year coming up, a lot of that is going on with the holidays just passing by, but I am here to tell you that there is somebody who loves you so very much. Even though you may not have anybody right now, there is somebody, and his name is Jesus, and he loves you so much. Today's comes from Lamentations 3:25, and it says, "The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him." All right, my friends, thank you again for watching. I loved spending this time with you and playing with makeup. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.